the sperm that won. I always remember that since like elementary school. We're the sperm that won. It's time to break free from the mentality that we're not good enough, because we're the ones who told ourselves that we're not good enough, and we believe it. We're the only ones who think we're not good enough. And recognize that your self-doubt is not based on reality. It's based on fake information that you believe is real from societal pressures, peers, comparisons. Self-acceptance. Can you just say to yourself that I accept you? Having a YouTube channel, simply speaking, would scare my childhood self. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Girl, okay, I need to hear this, you need to hear this, we just all need to hear this, okay? You're the only one who thinks you're not good enough.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
I know. It's like, how dare I say that, right? I have been there. I am there. I feel like I don't measure up. I feel like I am not enough, but not consciously. Those messages lay in me, in myself. Those messages can lay in my self-doubt, me procrastinating. There's a reason why I stall on doing things that I am passionate about. It's not like I'm walking around here consciously saying, oh, I'm not good enough. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself a confident person, but sometimes it lays deeper within us. And it's time to break free from this, because we don't have time for that. We have dreams to chase, goals to accomplish, and fun to have, happiness to experience. So my point one, our inner critic. We all have the little voice in our head. Sometimes it says it, sometimes it doesn't, that we're not good enough. It can be translated in saying, I can't do that. I'm not talented enough. Oh, I don't have enough experience for that. Oh, she's prettier. She has more. She must be so talented. She can be an influencer. She can do that. Her channel's better because I can't do that. That's equivalent to saying, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for what I want. This voice stems from comparisons to others, childhood traumas, past experiences, and especially societal pressures. All around social media, I've been watching and listening to Alicia Gogan's content, of course, a lot lately. I'm not saying of course, like you guys know, but I'm obsessed with her. And she's been talking about how we're seeing everyone in their prime, especially say we're seeing like the best of 20-year-olds, the best of 30-year-olds, best of the best of moms on social media, right? We're seeing the best of the best on people who are influencers, right? So we're comparing ourselves to the best of the best, or what they at least show us of themselves on social media. So of course we're going to compare ourselves to that and think, why am I not like that? And the danger is we start to believe social media, we start to believe the voice in our head, and we're allowing it to dictate our worth, our self-worth. So point number 2, the reality check. So let me share something with you. So me in particular, I've made a video about this before in a reel, but who I am right now is something my inner child, my inner child, my younger self could never fathom being. From what I've done, no matter how small or big, I've written and published 2 poetry book. I model consistently because I love to do it. I've shown more skin on this internet more than my past self, my childhood self could ever fathom doing, because growing up I was overweight and I was so insecure and I hated my body. I would wear long sleeve shirts to the pool. I hated my arms. I hated my body. Now, I'm not saying I'd be naked, but like, I love my body in every state that it is in. Even if I am insecure about some parts of myself, which I very much am sometimes, I still accept myself. If I want to change some things, I'll work on it, but I still accept who I am. And that's something my past self could never have done, ever. Growing up, could never fathom myself modeling, being on runways when I used to be on runways, like publishing books. Having a YouTube channel, simply speaking, would scare my childhood self to death. Even a few years ago, this startles me. It is a little shocking sometimes to myself, but I've actively done the work to through the uncomfortableness to do these sorts of things that I know my present self and dream self want to do. It feels more comfortable. It feels more authentic. Like me simply being able to post photo shoot pictures, do photo shoots, something I never fathomed I could do growing up. I thought these things were impossible for me to even show out to my body, be in front of a camera confidently, speaking in front of a camera confidently. I thought they were impossible. And I've achieved these things and I thought they were impossible. But I know there's some things in your life that you've accomplished that you probably thought you're not even thinking about them as a major accomplishment. But if you think of them in comparison to who you once were as a child, teenager, growing up, we're doing things that we never fathomed we could do, you know? So take a moment to reflect on your accomplishment, the positive impacts you've had on your life and other people's lives through your actions. Take a moment to reflect on your accomplishments, your strengths, and positive impacts you've made on other people's lives. And recognize that your self-doubt is not based on reality. It's based on fake information that you believe is real from societal pressures, peers, comparisons. It's not real. Going into my next point about the perfectionism trap. Point 3. Child, we set unnecessarily high standards for ourselves. Perfection. And we feel so terrible about ourselves when we fall short. Like sometimes when I see a new trend on social media about like a productivity routine, whatever, I'll just be like, boom, I'm gonna start doing a Stairmaster every day for an hour. Won't be that hard. No. That's a totally fake example, by the way. But like, you know, you like see these girls who do stuff like that on a daily basis because they built up a routine to do it. Of course, it seems more easy for them to do it. But I'm like, you know what? I'll be like them, do fasted cardio every morning. And then when I skip sometimes, I'll be like, oh, why am I not like them? I'm just not good enough. If I was like them, they, you know, like, all these sorts of things. It's time to replace perfectionism with self-compassion. It's very important for us to embrace our flaws and our imperfections. I use this because I don't even like the word like flaws. Like what? I have stretch marks. I have a lot of things, you know, that could be seen as flaws. But that's what makes me me. It's what makes me unique, and what makes me me. And remember, we know this for a fact. I'm about to say something that we've all heard many times in our life. Even the most successful people have failed in their life. And when you hear that, you're like, yeah, Isabel, I know it. We all know this, but like, do we feel it? Do we dig it? You know what I'm saying? Many successful people have had many setbacks, many failures. But we hear this all the time. We don't feel it. We don't feel it, you know? But we have to believe it. We definitely have to believe it and trust that that's the truth. Because we just see people who are so successful and we're like, wow, they have it so easy, but we don't know. We haven't seen the work, the grinding to get up there. The next point is the power of self-love, the power of it. Self-love isn't about arrogance. It's about embracing our worth, our flaws, and all of it. Honestly, self-love was such a hard thing for me to get into. I know it's a concept. So how does one get into a concept, right? Because growing up, I always hated myself, self-loathe, insecure, I just hated who I was, how I looked like, all of it. And so getting into self-love was simply me just like looking at myself in the mirror and hearing myself talk, all the things, just really being present with me. And I was like, okay, I accept you. And later on, I developed it into more, oh my gosh, I love you. Like, oh, like you're so great, you know? It started with simple acceptance. Like, I see you, Isabel, I hear you. You're you. Like, as you can probably tell, I talk very fast sometimes when I'm very in the moment, right? And however I look, whatever season of my body, whatever season it's in, I accept it. It's me. It took a while to get up to that point because it's the simple fact that like I can't change it. We can't change our bodies unless you pay for it, you know? But logically, I can't, like, say if you want to lose 20 pounds and, like, you know, like, lose 10 pounds in an hour, like, you know, all this crazy, whatever. I can't rip off the fat off my body right now. I can't do that. Whatever's on me is here. Whatever's in me, mentality and all, right now, it's here. It's like getting mad the sun's in the sky. Like, it's there. Yes, it will set and become the moon later. But right now, the sun's just sunning, even though it's night right now. But it's like resisting what is doesn't make sense. It's like being really genuinely angry that it's raining. And then, why is it raining? But it's doing what it's doing. You can't stop it. So that's my first tip is kind of just like self-acceptance before self-love. Because you can't love yourself if you don't accept yourself. And then later on, I started to like cultivate and like, I started to incorporate more routines and practices and hobbies that like I genuinely like to do. Not just productivity ones where I'm like trying to grow, you know, become her, all that. I also included more fun activities into my routine, like watching more anime, watching more cartoons, drawing, writing, doing things that my childhood self loved to do, things that really sparked joy within me. And of course, journaling about who you want to be and like reflecting on who you once were, and also giving that part of your self-love too. There's so many different ways to cultivate self-acceptance and self-love. Not doing what you think other people want you to do. That's one major thing with it. Because when you love and believe in yourself, you become happier, more resilient, and better equipped to take on life. So point five is about breaking free. It's about breaking free.
Ariana, what are you doing here?
I'm not no Ariana, but mind your business. It's time to break free from the mentality that we're not good enough. Because we're the ones who told ourselves that we're not good enough. And we believe it. We're the only ones who think we're not good enough. So some actionable steps to get us there is, first of all, challenge the inner critic. My favorite way to do this is when I hear, say if I like on social media, scrolling, I see a beautiful girl, beautiful body, and my first thought is like, oh, I wish I had, nope, stop, shut up. Either one, my first step is like kind of shutting that stuff down, you know, shutting it down, or hearing it and act like we're watching a movie. That's one, I read a book, what's it called? I have a picture of it right here, the book I'm talking about. The premise of that book is for us to watch our thought and let it pass. One of my favorite analogies in that book is like, we're in a movie theater. The movie is our thoughts. We're the observer of our thoughts. Because we react to our thoughts. Because if it were our thoughts, we wouldn't be able to react to ourselves, you know? I always think about that when I'm thinking about really negative things and I catch myself getting into it. It's like us getting trapped in a good movie. You know, we're watching a good movie, hours pass by, you're like, oh wait, I'm not a part of that movie. I'm just observing it. So that's how we should treat our thoughts too. Either first step, either shut it down, be like, yo, stop. Or be like you see a thought, like, ooh, that thought just passed by. Because sometimes it's very hard for us to control our thoughts. It's very hard. Sometimes it's very much impossible to control every single thought we have. Sometimes we be just having the most random thoughts throughout the day. Sometimes we even have like scary thoughts, cool thoughts, bad thoughts, good thoughts, all of it. And when we identify with them, that's when we get a little scared or sad or upset, like, oh, why do I think this way? Why do I think this way? Forget why we think that way. We can just let it pass. Like we're scrolling through the guide on TV, passing the movies we don't want to watch. We can do that with our thoughts. So challenge that inner critic. Surround yourself with more positive influences so you can probably, generate more positive thoughts, right? Curate what you see on social media, curate what you see in real life, curate what you listen to, watch, all of it. And then set achievable goals so you can watch your progress, right? Step on the scale less. If you did it every day, do it once a week now. Take yourself for a coffee every week instead of just forcing yourself to save money and do it at home. Of course, we're all about budgeting here, but we do deserve to treat ourselves because life is short. Treat yourself. Please treat yourselves. Please treat yourself kindly and to good, but don't overindulge now. Don't do all that. Don't do all that. So how do y'all cultivate self-love in your life? Like, share your stories and tips in the comments below if you have any to share, because cultivating self-love is hard. I still have some troubles with it as well. That's why I always say I self-accept first and then cultivate more, feelings for myself. We've explored the damaging concept that we're not good enough. So I want you to remember this. You're capable. You are unique. Very, very unique, because we're all just unique, little cute things. And you're enough as you are. But even if I tell that to you, you don't have to believe me. You're the one who ultimately decides the truth if you're good enough for yourself. Because are you good enough for yourself? If you are, then we can start to embody that. And the comparisons will feel less intense. Of course, it's so easy to compare. That's like how we are built as humans, is look around and compare. But if we accept ourselves as we are, it's easier to manage those thoughts and those emotions and those actions of comparison. So take a moment today and please practice self-love, or at least simply self-acceptance. So can you just say to yourself that I accept you? I accept you as you are. I accept you. It's a neutral and beautiful place to start. Challenge your inner critic. Tell her to shut up, or let her run her mouth, because that's none of your business. And remind yourself of your worth, because it's innate. We were born with it. We were chosen to be on this earth. Some people weren't here. We're the sperm that won. I always remember that since like elementary school. We're the sperm that won. And so yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-acceptance and self-love. If you found this video inspiring, leave a thumbs up, share it with someone you care about who needs a smack in the face to be reminded that they're enough if they be tweaking sometimes. And consider subscribing for more, content on personal growth and empowerment. I kind of do a little bit of that on this channel. But always remember, you're the one ultimately who's in charge of your worth, and you have the power to change that. And until next time, take care of yourself. And thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.